Good morning. It's a snow day here and I have a bit of a head cold, so I won't be on here very long, and I think I may even go take a nice hot bath. You can tell, wow, I just really look like I kind of got out of bed, brushed my hair, and popped on Instagram. Okay, so the reason I'm here today is I had an old friend reach out asking about happiness, and really she wanted to know if I had any book recommendations on just how to find happiness in your life. And she elaborated that she is actually happy. She's got a lot to be happy about in her life, but something's missing. So it's a big question. Happiness. That's such a big question. What makes us happy? Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys what I told her, and I'm going to elaborate a little bit more. I gave her 3 tips. Number 1 is to start a gratitude practice, some sort of a gratitude exercise. So for me, this looks like when I wake up in the morning, writing down 3 things that I'm grateful for in my life. And then before I go to bed in the evening, 3 things I'm grateful for. So number 1, if you want to have a happier life, start with gratitude. It's the easiest way to start pinpointing what makes you happy. And I found, and I've said this to so many people, I started this gratitude practice where I'd write the 3 things in the morning and the 3 things in the evening. And for the first week, it's easy. It's so easy. I'm grateful for my kids. I'm grateful for my husband. I'm grateful for my house. All the big stuff, right? It's so easy. And then after about a week, you start looking for little things because you're like, I can't write my kids down again. I'm so grateful for my healthy children, but I can't write that down every day. I mean, I can, but it does make you start reaching for the little things. Because I can tell you that happiness in life, feeling happy, it comes from those little things. But if you're not actively looking for it, if you're not actively trying to recognize it, it can slip by really easily. Okay, so number 1, gratitude. Some sort of gratitude practice. You don't need to buy a fancy journal. You can use a notebook. You can use Post-it notes. I don't care. But every day, you need to be coming up with what you're grateful for. Number 2, journal. Write that shit down. I journaled a lot when I was in high school. So as an adult, journaling seemed like something that high school girls do. It's not. It's not even something that just girls do. Get a journal, a notebook, and write in it. I don't care what you write. For me, I like to use journaling prompts. So I did a women's empowerment course, and we dug into, a lot of that, what makes us feel ashamed? Where do we have shame in our lives? Where do we have guilt in our lives? I use journaling for 2 things specifically. Number 1 is if I'm trying to sort through something in my life, or if something has happened and I'm having an emotional reaction to it, rather than spew it out of my mouth, I like to go in and just write and write and write and write. No matter how crazy it might seem, no one's reading it. I'm not asking you to publish your journal. I'm just asking you, when you're feeling, maybe you're feeling down, maybe you're feeling excited, whatever it is, if you're having a lot of emotional reaction to something, I like to process it by writing. So journaling. And if you need journaling prompts, there's tons of resources out there. And I do plan on creating a 7-day journaling challenge with prompts that'll get emailed out every day. I'm working on that right now, coming up with what those prompts are going to be. But dig into why you feel things. Dig into, I really like digging into shame. I really do. It's not fun. It's painful. It's going to make you cry. But if you're looking for happiness in your life, emotions like shame and guilt are probably playing underneath and holding you back from some of that happiness. So really dig in and journal. I also like to journal when I'm angry. Like if something has happened and I'm really pissed off about it, rather than just, like I said, spew it out of my mouth, write it. Brene Brown, the author and social worker and just brilliant human being, Brene Brown, she calls it your shitty first draft. Just write it. Spill it onto the page. Let it go. Doesn't matter. Like, let your inner 5-year-old, that selfish, conceited little 5-year-old, let it go. And what I always find, 100% of the time, when I'm done journaling, I've already kind of worked out, like, well, I don't even really feel that way. Of course that person didn't mean that when they said it. Like, you start to work it out through the words. Journal. And then the last thing I've already mentioned her once, but if you're looking for more happiness in your life, read everything. Every word that Brene Brown has written. Brene Brown, B-R-E-N-E, Brown. She's amazing. She is amazing, and she's going to take you into that deeper dive into yourself. Where are you holding yourself back? What are these emotions? And it really does spiral a lot around, I'm not getting my words right, spirals a lot around. She talks a lot about shame. And shame, I have found, we carry it with us, and it actually prohibits us from living our best life. So dig in. Like I said, it's not fun. It's not a good time. I've been doing this now for a year, just really digging into my own inner, I like to call them my shadows. Those parts of yourself that you wish didn't exist. Those little parts, the stuff you're bringing with you from childhood, from adolescence, the fights in your marriage, the fights with your children, all of those moments where we felt shame or guilt or we felt down about ourselves, all of that is playing into our... So, sorry, I got a phone call right there. I don't know what that just did. So gratitude exercise, journal, read materials by people like Brene Brown, who are really digging into that emotional health. So those are my big 3 tips. But the other thing that I asked this person is it happiness that you're striving for? Is that what's lacking in your life? Is it really happiness? Sometimes I think, especially as Americans, we lack the emotional vocabulary to say what it is we're really looking for. Happiness is temporary. Happiness is you're hanging out with friends, having a good time. You're happy. We are not meant to live in a perpetual state of happiness. It's unrealistic. Happiness is just a single emotion. We are not meant to live this life feeling one way. You're going to have seasons in life of immense grief and immense suffering. And you're not going to find happiness when you lose a spouse or a child or a parent. You might find glimmers and little moments of happiness, but you're not going to go around feeling happy all the time because that's not normal and that shouldn't be expected. So my question to her was, is it happiness you're looking for, or is it satisfaction and contentment with your life that you're looking for? Because those are different things. You could lose a parent and be dealing with grief and still feel contentment in your day-to-day life. You could still be processing grief, not feeling happy, but feel satisfied in the other areas of your life. Does that make sense? So that would be my big question is it really happiness that you're seeking, or are you looking for a life where you feel like there's purpose? Phone calls from telemarketers. It's ridiculous. So those were my big things this morning that I've been thinking about is what are we really looking for happiness, or are we really trying to live a more satisfied life? Are we trying to be content in our lives? And if that's the case, definitely gratitude practice, journaling, especially when we're not feeling good, journaling the bad stuff. It's also good to journal the good stuff, but journal the bad stuff. Like, journal your way through, write your way through the crap. And read anything and everything by Brené Brown. I can't recommend her enough. And I do want to throw out one more book, and a lot of women out there are going to be like, no, she's not my cup of tea. That's fine. Rachel Hollis, Girl Wash Your Face. She's my cup of tea. I really like her. So Girl Wash Your Face, she's got an Amazon Prime movie. If you've got an Amazon Prime membership, it's free, called Made for More. And I just pre-ordered her book, Girl Stop Apologizing. And it's really just kind of about getting your shit together and taking control of your life and ownership of your life. I think I may even go back and reread Girl Wash Your Face, because I listened to it on audiobook. A lot of people are like, how do you read so many books? I read every day, and audiobooks are still books. So you might not be reading the text, but plug in an audiobook while you're cooking dinner or you're commuting or whatever. But yeah, I really like Rachel Hollis, and I think her message, while it's not the same message as Brené Brown, it's still kind of in that vein of, you're not responsible for the hurt that you've gone through. You're not responsible for the pain that has been inflicted on you, but you are responsible for your healing. So those are some of the thoughts rattling around in my head this morning on this glorious snow day. It never stops snowing or raining. And like I said, I'm feeling a little under the weather, so I think I'm going to go relax, and I don't know what I'm going to get into. It's not feeling like a work day for me. But thank you all. I see, Inzi, you've got... Oh, so you have the Girl Wash Your Face, but you haven't read it yet. Oh, dude, we got to talk about it when you do. I'm even thinking about locally getting some women together to do maybe like a book club. Because I am a verbal processor, so when I read things, my poor husband gets to hear all about them as I just walk around the kitchen going, oh, and then this thing, and then that thing, and then that made me think of this, and I'm going to write about that. And yeah, so I verbally process a lot too, which is why journaling is important, because I can get some of that out without... I think he appreciates that I don't spill it all onto him. So I hope this helps. Like I said, I don't think we should be striving for perpetual happiness. But I think we confuse the word happiness and fulfillment, satisfaction, contentment. I think that those two things sometimes get mixed together. So if you're not feeling super satisfied with your life, if you're not feeling moments of happiness, I would challenge you to dig in and see what's going on there. Why? What is it? Is it your feelings that are holding you back? Is it your environment? Because until you get some clarity around what's causing it, it's going to be hard to, fix it. Journaling helped me gain a lot of clarity. So I'm going to go take a bath. I think that's what I'm going to do. Thanks for joining me, and I hope my ramblings help at least a little bit. And let me know. DM me if you've got any thoughts, if you've been working on stuff, if you've got tips that work, if you were experiencing a hard time and you did something and that helped, share it with me. I'm always trying to learn from other people. I am not sharing anything super original here. It's just stuff that I've picked up and learned along the way. Isn't that what we're all doing? So if you've done something that works, if you've got a technique for gratitude or a practice that you really enjoy, that you are able to stick with, because that's another big thing, is sticking with things, share it with me. DM me. I want to hear from you. And I will catch you all soon. I was looking for the button to see how I end this video. All right, I'll catch you all later.